Today we are talking about Obojima, a Studio Ghibli 5e inspired expansion pack for D&D 1/5e. Now, why are we talking about this today? Why am I pivoting towards D&D content and other stuff? Well, I always wanted to make TTRPG content, so don't ask me stupid questions. And number two, because it's actually really good. I'm actually a big fan of it, and that's it. I like the aesthetic. I really like it. It seems very much Studio Ghibli inspired. So you guys should be able to read the title. It's 7 things that make this game a true Studio Ghibli inspired game. Let's get into it. Let's get into number 1. So the first thing that makes it a true Studio Ghibli inspired game, in my opinion, is the spirit world. The spirit world adds so much functionality into the locations of Obojima already, or into the Gale's Isles, as it's called. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by functionality? Well, there's multiple ways to access the spirit realm, through portals, through gates, and even through purposeful attempts to enter it. And once you do, you enter it without a trace. Like, you just disappear, blip out of reality. And you can just go through there, and it's not like a wormhole or anything, but you can explore the spirit realm, adding versatility to any location on the island. Therefore, making every location you visit technically double that location, because you didn't even cover the spirits of that location. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say you go to I forgot what the ocean one's called, but this is ocean port. You should see it on screen, right? Now you can enter it in the physical world, but what does it look like in the spirit realm? Well, you will see a bunch of spiriting fish. It is absolutely beautiful. Each location in this game has its own aesthetic, and it has its own creatures that inhabit that location. Mixed with it casual use of magic and casual known of yokai and spirits, it makes it all the more fun to just go out and seek the spirit realm, to either get an item or get a quest. And because spirits cannot affect the real world, a lot of spirits can't, they can ask you, can you go do something for them? That's amazing. And you can do that as like a warlock, or as a warlock patron, you know what I'm saying? There's some plot threads right there. It makes it wonderful, and it gives the world too many things to explore. And when I say too many, I don't mean too many in a bad way. I mean like too many in a good way. It gives it so much to explore, because you get to explore the normal location and the spirit realm location. I think that's wonderful. That's why it's here on my number 1 list, and it resembles a lot of Studio Ghibli's aesthetic. It resembles like Spirited Away and stuff like that. It resembles that stuff. So let's go to number 2. This is number 2 of what makes this game a real Studio Ghibli vibe. A real Studio Ghibli vibe. A real My Best Friend Totoro vibe. A real Monkey Queen vibe. Well, it's the technology that the game employs. Yes, there is technology in this setting. You can find vending machines almost in every road. You can drive a truck. You can find cassette tapes. You can find all the airplanes. And it resembles the technology that is found in most Studio Ghibli films. There's nothing out of the realm here, like laser guns or anything, all that. And more importantly, a lot of magic items double as the technology within the world, which I think is awesome. I think that's a cool thing to add on. I'm not gonna go into a video of the creatures or the bestiary. If you guys want that, you can like and comment, hey, show the bestiary, show the bestiary. But it adds so much flavor with the technology we have at our fingertips. Adds so much flavor with the technology we have at our fingertips within the expansion, because it is just wonderful. It is just nice. It has an aesthetic. It keeps with that aesthetic. I can't think of one piece of technology off the top of my head that decides to break away. It keeps a consistent, I think, 80s aesthetic, and it's absolutely beautiful. Especially the art of trucks and Polaroid cameras we get, and the sunburn cassette tape, which you will see in this video. I think altogether it fits the vibe completely, and it makes it a joyous experience because you're not getting technology that is out of the bounds of the game. Now it's time for number 3. Now let's go back to 3. Yep, we're at 3. And for this one, we're going to talk about the factions within the world. For example, each faction fits a certain criteria and it fits the vibe of the world. There's no faction you can say that does not fit into the Studio Ghibli vibe. If we're talking about the Young Adventurers Guild, I think that's what it's called. Let me double check. Yep. Academic Adventurers Guild, where it's all about exploration and finding your place and just out there having fun. Or we're talking about the Marines Guild, where it's about fishing, and I'm pretty sure there's about fighting off naval corruption. And if we're talking about the Delivery Service faction, which deliverance via delivery, which is a night faction that delivers. Each faction, even the young Boy Scouts, the young stewardess scouts, they bring their own type of vibe within the world, and as it accumulates, it really gives a Studio Ghibli feel. And why is this important, in my opinion, for the quote-unquote tone of Obojima? Well, here's why. That would be the hardest part of making a quote-unquote Studio Ghibli expansion. That would be the hardest part, is setting down the tone while also including interesting factions. So when I say they fucking nailed it, I mean they fucking nailed it. They should each be on screen. You should each be able to read them. Please read them. Please indulge yourself within the lore of this world. And hopefully, if you like it, buy a copy as we move on to number 4. All right, so now we're talking about active potion brewing. Now, what about potion brewing is Studio Ghibli inspired? Well, potion brewing in itself, the whole aesthetic that comes with Studio Ghibli, I feel like, is the food that appears on screen, or the quote-unquote ingredients. Whenever they have a witch on the scene and they're showing you the ingredients for food and stuff, when that appears on screen, well, Studio Ghibli has that in full. So when I talk about potion brewing, I don't mean just the active brewing of potions or what the potions do. I mean the aesthetic of the look of the potions and the ingredients that are used in the potions. Everything is reminiscent of Studio Ghibli. Trading with spirits, picking up raspberries, going to certain trees in the spirit realm to get certain ingredients, all that is reminiscent. And even ingredients from certain creatures, and we're talking about evil creatures, that is very reminiscent of Studio Ghibli. All that accumulates into a Studio Ghibli-esque feel. And you're gonna hear me say that a lot. And because I'm saying this as in it stretches to all their movies. I feel like the feel of this game can stretch through all their movies. You name a fucking Studio Ghibli film, you can play it with this expansion pack. And you can play it with this expansion pack. Do you understand me? Do you know how nice that is? Do you know how aesthetically pleasing that is? You guys will love this. And now we're going to move on to number 5. I hope this really showed you, give you proper examples and stuff like that. I don't want to name things specifically because I want you guys to go out and buy it. So if this is getting vague, you should just see the pictures, pause to read. If this doesn't really get you to buy it, I really want you guys to. I know times are hard right now. Now let's talk about the spells. I'm not necessarily talking about the magic of the world. That can be held to another degree at some other time, or maybe even in another video. But let's talk about the spells in general. Each spell that you will see me talking about, it has its one-to-one counterpart. First, let's go with Origami Swarm. I know you remember that one scene in Spirit Away. Now, am I saying every spell in this game follows that kind of aesthetic? Yes. Yes, I am. Exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. So you see the Origami Swarm, and you should see it on screen. You should see it right here or right here. Yeah, that's in the game. That is something you can routinely do. And then let's talk about the second one, and that's the sandcastle. Now, there's no good depictions of a magical sandcastle in Studio Ghibli. But I like this spell so much. I like the idea of you summoning a sandcastle just to be like, yeah, fuck my enemies. I'm in a castle now. I'm gonna shoot down from that castle, or I'm gonna trap you in that castle. I just summoned a castle. There's really nothing you can do. I'm Mr. Castle Man. I'm in a castle, you're not. Yeah, although it's made out of sand, okay, this is a magical, whimsical world, bro. What, you're gonna shoot arrows at my castle? You're gonna shoot really sharp arrows at my castle? It's not gonna do anything. You better get one of those funny sticky arrows, like the joke ones that you used to play with as a kid, because I'm whimsical. I'm a whimsical wizard. This is a whimsy. I'm immune to anything that's not whimsical. That's why I like the castle spell. That's my castle spell rant. And then I think the one that should be popped up, it should be the wind sprint. Why do I like wind sprint? Okay. I like Demon Slayer. God forbid a nigga take something from the Demon Slayers. But it reminds me of Demon Slayer. I love the idea you can sprint and then jump up and slam down on your opponent. That's awesome. I'm a Ryan main when I play Overwatch. And yeah, that should tell you everything you need to know about me. You give me a move where I can slam down on my opponent to do extra damage after I get a speed boost. Yeah, I'm using it. Bonus points if I can charge into him and I even jump. Yeah, I'm playing Ryan in 5e. Yeah, I'm playing Ryan in D&D 1. You're not gonna stop me because creativity is my limits. Creativity is my limits. All right. Yeah, that's the spells, man. That's the spells. Pretty sure I went over all the spells that are on screen. If I didn't go over all the spells that are on screen. Oh yeah, summon vehicle. Let me tell you about this one. You won't fucking believe me. So you cast a spell and you summon a vehicle. Why is this cool? Well, have you ever summoned a truck on a fucker? Have you ever fight a dude and was like, truck, pew? No. You better fucking start. And I know it's supposed to be used out of combat, but back up your homie. He about to summon a truck. Have you hit a motherfucker with the truck? That shit hurts. That shit, I seen shit like that destroy a car. Now imagine I summon a truck and this yokai is being too goddamn mean, or I see this corrupted spirit and I hit that motherfucker with the truck. Double points if I have a bunch of spellcasters in the car in my trunk and they're shooting out spells. Yeah, mystical drive-bys. Triple points if I then park my car that I summoned in the fucking sand castle. That's fucking quadruple whimsical. Quadruple points if I had an origami storm protect my sand castle with my truck, which I just hit a corrupted spirit in. Yeah, that just set the fucking stage for you. That is awesome. Okay, now we're moving on to number 5, I think. Or we're either on 5 or 6. Let me see. Yeah, we're moving on number 6. Ding. Now let's talk about these magic items. Each magic item in this game serves to like protect itself within the aesthetic of Studio Ghibli. I feel like, well, when I say protect itself, I mean it lends credence to it. It's really like the shell. If this was an egg, I would say the magic items is the protective barrier, because when you see these magic items, you're gonna say, oh damn, I'm sold. Now, did I find a way to put Sandcastle on this list twice? Yo, shut the fuck up. It don't matter. It's my video. And yes, I did. So the first magic item is the keys to the sandcastle. You can expend them, and then you can use summon sandcastle. Yeah. And that's all it does. That's really all it does. As you can see, the picture is kind of cool. I would like hang it off my side, you know, pull it out like a blick. Yeah. And yeah, that's it. Each magic item is like this, by the way. Well, let's talk about the ones I get examples for. The next is the magic broomstick. I feel like you can think of thousands of examples within Studio Ghibli films where you see the magic broomstick. And here you can craft your own 1,000 more. I just gave you 1,001. There you go. The third is one of my favorites other than Sandcastle, and it's the lantern crab. Why do I like the crab? So you turn it on and it scuffles forward. and lights the way. That is awesome. I don't know. I like it. I'm not really a cute explosion type of person, but that shit is adorable. Now, if I was afraid of the dark, or if I wanted to walk into a cave, the first thing I'm doing is I'm pulling out my crab lantern and I'm having him go first. And then if something kills my crab lantern, just know I'm upping switch on him. Real shit, fantasy setting, right? I'm upping origami swarm on him. Like Spider-Man, like Spider-Man. And then last one is the Curse Pendant, which allows you to regain hit points at the end of, I think, of an encounter or something. It lets you regain a maximum of 1/3 of your hit points, and then it can only be used for that day. I feel like there's multitude of items you can say this inspired by in Studio Ghibli films, because there are just so many beautiful jewelry that is magical, either hinted at or actively shown to be magical. But this is the picture I picked. And more importantly, let's go on to talk about the rest of the magic items. Now, I'm not going through each and every one of them, but I am going to tell you each and every magic item is like this. And there are like, I think 20 of them, and they're each like this. And I really feel like in this game, magic items aren't crafted, but they're found. And I think that adds to the all-around exploration of this world, right? I think a problem is with a little bit of like the fantasy genre is, at the end of the day, you will be able to make magic items. Magic items are crafted, not found. They just don't exist. Now, these also, you could say, don't just exist because they had to come from somewhere, but I feel like they're so far separated from where they quote unquote came from, as in, I don't think you can craft any of these. It just makes it feel good. I don't know, makes it feel better. And I think there is one class that can craft them, and the craft that can craft them has a spirit baseball bat, and that's awesome. So it gets my vote. Last thing we're going to talk about here is Ancestry. Let's get into it. And that would be number 7. Number 7, Ancestries. Now, there are not that many races in this game. There's only 3, right? But the 3 races there is, I love, because those 3 races have variations based upon them. Like the Oni has red Oni, blue Oni, green Oni, and the Oni allows you to have special traits assigned to your color. And then the frog people have special tattoos that give them different attributes. And then the elves have magical corruption, and they just kind of lived here for a really long time. And I think that just adds to the flair. Although there's only 3 races, 3 ancestries, right? You can still use some of the ancestries that's in the base game, D&D 1. And why do I think this as a bonus and not as a net negative for the whole aesthetic of the world? Well, the reason why I think this is a bonus is because the race, the ancestries that is in 1D&D are already kind of reminiscent of Studio Ghibli. I know that may sound weird, but there are so many varied and whimsical races you can be. Like, I can imagine a talking hippo in a Studio Ghibli film. So it kind of just goes along with 5e. And I do like features like that can like hold 5e's hand and kind of pull it into its own realm, if that makes sense. That's the best way I can say it. It doesn't really limit you to the races that's in the book. You can use other races. And yeah, that's it. Those are 7 things why I believe this game is a real Studio Ghibli inspired game, or what really makes it Studio Ghibli inspired. I am sorry I didn't talk about the creatures, or I didn't really go in detail with the locations like that, but I do want to leave some things up to the imagination. So if you think you like it, you can do research and hopefully buy the thing. Or if you think you like it, you could watch the dev vlogs on YouTube and find it out for yourself. and decide if you like it. Everything is going to be in my description if you want to buy it. And if you want me to make more videos, just comment, like the video. If you think something's wrong, I've been getting a lot of dislikes on my shorts lately. Let me know. Tell me, do you think the audio is bad? Do you think it's too lighty? Or like, let me know. And thank you for watching the video till the end. That is the most important thing. Yeah. Well, what am I to say? Sandcastle, sandcastle, sandcastle. And maybe next video will be about Wrath and Glory. Next D&D video will be about Wrath and Glory. Yeah.